Good morning. Good morning, Susan. Yes, rainy, but cool. I still had work I wanted to get done today, so I'd prefer if it wasn't raining. But on the other hand, I really worked all day yesterday, so maybe it's better that I have a day off. But I got a fair amount done. I got one of the gates hung. And I figured out that I have to redo everything on my fence because we changed the way we're going to attach it. Instead of on the front of the post, it's going to go in the back of the post. And that, as it is with everything, when you change one thing, you change everything, right? It's never as simple as you think. So, yeah, I got a little work to do there, but it's fine. It can get rained on, and I will deal with it maybe tomorrow. I don't really know. We'll see. There's always next week as well. I think we are actually looking forward to not terrible weather for the next week or so. Even I was looking at the rest of the week and then next weekend. Warm, but maybe not quite as blisteringly hot as it has been, which will be nice. So, shall we talk about today? Well, let's talk about this idea. Let's talk about the rain, right? So yesterday we were kind of talking about finding your path and finding your place in the world, and taking your place in the world, right? And stepping up, doing your part, and not necessarily looking for recognition for that or applause, right? You're not always going to get it. The applause and the praise that you need, you can find within, right? We know when we're doing the right thing, and we know when we're not. That little voice inside tells us, and I think that may be why many of us don't want to listen to that voice. We don't want to meditate. We don't want to develop a relationship with the inner voice. For some, they're afraid, but they're going to find, right? They think there's something terrible. There's something terrible in there. There's not, but they think there might be. But for others, they know, right? They know they're not on the right path. They know they are cutting corners. They know they are doing the bare minimum to get by, and uh, not really listening to that inner voice. Um, it's like we have to learn this lesson over and over and over again. There are no shortcuts. There are no easy fixes. Um, what we do matters, and how we do it sometimes matters even more. Um, these are hard lessons that we usually learn through experience, and I hope we learn. Sometimes I think we don't. I think we just keep doing the same mistakes over and over again, right? Isn't that's so? That's I don't know if it's true, but I think people ascribe it to Albert Einstein, but I don't know that it is. But the quote that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I think we are all guilty of this, making mistakes and not learning, expecting somehow to do the same thing we've always done and get a different result. If we aren't happy with where we are, if we aren't happy with the result of our actions, how can we keep doing the same thing again and again? Um, I mean, it really does seem like insanity when you think about it. Um, but maybe the positive spin on that is it's a hopeful feeling. We hope that it might turn out differently this time, but let's learn and know that that's not going to happen. But so today we've got rain, right? Which is sad for me because I wanted to work on my fence. Um, but happy for the plants. A lot of my plants are just looking parched. They don't like this weather. It's too hot too soon. I still have little plants that I haven't put in the ground yet because it's just not happening. I don't know if I'm going to have a garden this year. I know I'm going to have some garden, but it may be just some planters because my actual garden is looking like a jungle right now, and I just don't know if I have the time and the inclination to get in there with a machete and reclaim my territory this year. We'll see. Every year is different. But here's the thing, right? The rain, as they say, falls on the just and unjust alike. So the rain that is the salvation of the plants and which we desperately need is also going to make some people mad. Right? So no matter what happens, there are going to be perceived winners and losers. There are going to be people who have gained and people who have diminished. Um, Nothing is about us particularly. And rain is a great analogy for this because rain is indifferent. Rain is a weather phenomenon. It doesn't come or not come because of what you think or say or do, although um, as a kid you probably thought you could wish the rain. And certainly there are, cultures with where they do various, rituals to bring rain. I'm not going to say they don't work. I don't really know. I certainly wouldn't put myself in a position to weigh in authoritatively on that. But for in a general sense, it is out of our control. So to take it personally would be ridiculous, right? It would be crazy to be mad because it rained on your parade. How about we think about most of the things in our life this way? Um, most of the things that happen to you are a collision of events, right? We live a very complex existence, right? A lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of influences, um, but yet we live a very selfish, and I don't mean selfish in a negative way, but self-interested, right? We have a very narrow scope for the most part, right? We are aware of ourself, our immediate surroundings, our circle of friends and relatives. Um, it's very easy to get kind of locked in there. And when things happen, we think it's some kind of a judgment on us, or it's a direct result of something we've done. And this is something I think people also misunderstand, this whole idea of karma a little bit, right? People think of karma like a vending machine. You put in good things, pull the lever, and you get some good stuff, or put in bad actions and you get a spider or something coming out of the vending machine. Uh, it's not. It isn't that direct. I mean, the idea is similar, but um, it isn't that direct. We don't get immediate results to a lot of our actions. Um, it takes longer for things to filter through. And this is why, right? You see people who are very do a lot of good things, try hard, And they're constantly thwarted, right? It looks like they're doing all the right things, but they are having bad results. And by the same token, people who are quite evil in their actions and their beliefs seem to prosper, right? Um, I mean, again, we are only seeing a part of all the pictures around us. We are only seeing a very small window into everyone's life, and we haven't seen the end of the story yet. Um, so when something happens, instead of taking it so personally, instead of thinking, "What did I do wrong? Why did this happen to me? What did what how why am I being singled out?" Maybe think of it as, well, this here I am, right? I was in the path of this. Um, Even people's behavior towards you frequently is not anything about you, right? If you've ever been on the receiving end of, someone's anger or upset, um, or if you've suddenly seen a situation turn from very calm to very, very angry in a moment, um, you'll know that things often happen that you don't really understand. Um, and again, uh, there's no reason to, get upset about that. Um, People are frequently acting on a reflection of their internal state. Um, if they're walking around looking for a fight and you come into their path, that's what's going to happen. It doesn't really matter what you do. You could be very polite, very thoughtful, um, but you know this is going to end poorly. So rather than dwell on this, rather than, really pick apart your own actions, just accept that frequently these things happen that are out of our control and let it go. Be understanding and compassionate towards other people. Know that we'll never understand everything that's going on within them. We don't need to. All we need to do is to deal with them compassionately. And if things don't go well, that's okay. Again, what have you done? Have you tried to deal with someone kindly and compassionately? And if it didn't turn out well, that's how it is. Um, we take these things personally, and we shouldn't, right? Um, you will bleed 1,000 times if you let every person's bad mood upset you. I remember when my kids were young, talking to my husband about this, and he is a very compassionate person and empathetic person, so he would get very caught up in their drama and their chaos. So um, by the end of the day, dealing with like three young preschoolers, he'd be just wrung out, and I'd tell him, you're gonna get this emotional whiplash is what I call it, right? This snapping from one to the next to the next to the next. And if you are a person who has a great deal of empathy for others, you need to kind of rein that in, um, and understand, where they are and where you are. Um, we can't we can't change that. We can't change what other people are going through and what they're feeling. All we can do is do be kind for our part, and then don't let it affect you. Don't let it weigh you down or burden you. Everyone's got their own path to walk, and You may see people struggling, and we can help them by being kind, by being compassionate. We can't solve their problems, though. It's not our responsibility to do so. But we can make it easier when we can. And we can, again, don't make it worse by getting angry or resentful or feeling like it's messed up your day, right? Doesn't need to. You can go right back to that base level of serenity that we are carrying with us, right? That peaceful center. It is with our yoga practice, we are seeking that balance, that equilibrium. And when we are there, we feel at peace. Now, when we come into contact with chaos, anger, fear, right? We start to we start leaning, things start shaking, whatever, we get off balance. But we want to get back, right? And the easiest way to do that is to just let go of whatever it is that has come into you, that has come to upset you. Just move beyond that and come back. That idea of resetting, right? The breath work, meditation, all of those things. We're coming back to neutral, to our baseline, which is that peace. So you may not feel that yet, and that's okay. We're getting there. You've got that within us. Each and every one of us has that. It might be covered up by a lot of junk. Maybe you threw all of your old coats and clothes and clutter and junk on top of that. But it's there, right? It is there. We just have to dig it out. So get rid of all of that fear and all of that worry, all of those attachments to the things that don't matter, the stuff you own, the things that you spend a lot of time thinking about that really don't make that much difference in the overall scheme of things. When we get down and we are at that calm place, we understand that all of these other things really don't matter. What matters is what is eternal, what is forever. We're still living in the world, right? We are in the world, but we are not of the world, right? We are here learning, growing, participating, living our life to its fullest extent. But that is not who we are, right? We are that center. We are that peace. This is our bodies. Our role here on earth is it's the part we are playing. You could think of your spirit as an actor, and your body and your space in this world is your role. And you are here to play that role, to do a great job, to have rave reviews on your performance. But remember that it is that. It is not the ultimate forever. It's temporary, just like every role. And we'll do our best while we're here. But what really matters is who you are within. And we know what that is. We're light. We are beauty. We are love. We are eternal. All of those things. So be happy, even on a rainy day, because you are all of those wonderful things. All right, it's getting darker, I think. It's still raining here. All right, let's move around some while we're here. I was carrying, so the fence panels are heavy, maybe 40 pounds. And then the gates, of course, they're heavy, but then when you add all the hardware, maybe it's 50 pounds. So I was hauling those around all day. And yeah, it was a lot. I hate to say, but I mean, I'm getting older. This is one of the things about, and we all have things that we pride ourselves on, right? Maybe it's your intellect or your beauty or your ability to do things or something, but we all have those things about ourselves. And one of the things that I always prided myself on was the ability to do everything myself, right? I have always been tall and strong and able. I have taken up my place in the world. And, I'm the person that in the grocery store, everybody says, "Can you reach that for me? Can you get that?" I don't ask people for help. I do what I need to get done. Um, I am learning to ask people for help. I am getting older. My children are getting large and helpful. Um, it's hard for me. I find it difficult to ask them for help, to um, admit that I can't do everything anymore. I simply can't. Um, it's humbling. So you may find this, that things that you thought always were so important to your being are not, they're not true anymore. They may have changed. Um, they may keep changing. So again, don't get attached. Even though we think these things are important, they aren't important, right? They may be something that you counted on at a time in your life, but now we count on something else. Those things, even though you found them to be so important, they are temporary. Right? Just like everything else in our physical body is temporary. Our physical space is temporary. Um, these are hard. These are hard lessons, and they get harder. I think as we get older. But try to understand that we're all going through it. We all will. It is the ultimate nature of the body. It does not last. It will, bit by bit, diminish. And that is the natural state of things. There's no changing it, there's no avoiding it. Um, it is equal for us all. It may be faster for some than others, but we're doing our best with the yoga to keep moving, to keep active, to keep all of these things going. But we can't hold off forever. Um, and that's why I think as we get older, the spiritual part becomes more important. We stop relying so much on the physical body and instead start remembering what we are and what is really important. So, but we're going to keep moving the body anyway. Because as long as we're here, this body is important, right? You gotta have it to travel through, right? All right, so let's bring the arms wide. Take a deep breath and then hands together in the front. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Interlace the fingers, lift the arms, gaze up, And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. And then right arm down by your side, reach across with the left. Switch sides. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind. Sit tall, take a breath and twist. Back to center, switch sides. Let's walk the hands out in front. And then hands behind. Squeeze the shoulders together. Gaze up. Back up to your seat, tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Moving back up. Let's bring that right leg around. So we're up on the left knee. Arms up overhead. And then hands to center. Take a breath and twist. Pull that right shoulder back. Back to center. Right hand down by the foot. Left arm lifts.
And then both hands down onto the mat. We're kind of walking out here. Walk the hands back, extending the leg. We're folding over. Set the foot down and we'll swing it around. Back into child's pose, maybe bring the knees a little wider for this one. Moving back up. Swing that left leg around. Arms overhead. And then hands to center. Take a breath and twist. Back to center. Left hand down. Right arm lift. Both hands to the mat. Kind of walking out a little. And just going out as far as you feel comfortable. Walking hands back. We're straightening out the left leg. And fold over. Swing the leg around. And we're back into child's pose. Maybe stack the fists and rest your forehead on the hands. And then we're back up again. Swing legs around, soles of the feet together, sit tall, lean forward. Moving back up. Let's lift the knees, catch a hold of the toes or the tops of the feet. Lean back. Find your steadiness. And then maybe extension. Bend the knees, set the feet back down. And we're going to lower back or rock back. Take a few breaths. Let's bring the right ankle on top of the left knee. Working your supine pigeon, however that works out for you. And then switch legs. And breathe. And set your feet back onto the ground. We're going to bump the knees together, walk the feet to the edges of the mat. Goalpost arms or arms to a T. And then lowering. Knees to the right, gaze to the left. And then back to center, knees left, gaze right. Back to center. And then we're just going to move into Shavasana. So you can do whatever you want here. Maybe just extend the legs. Maybe if you want to do a little supported bridge, you could put the block under and just rest in supported bridge for a little bit. Um, Really your choice, right? Breathe and relax. One of the nice things about a long-term practice is that we get to know what we like. Right? What does our body need? What could help? And there aren't any wrong answers here. Maybe you get it wrong one day. Maybe you think this is what you need, but it's not good. You can always change, do something different. Um, you are you're the final judge and jury on how this is working for you. So don't be afraid to try something different or stop doing something if it doesn't feel like it's helpful to you. So just keep breathing. Feel that support of the ground under the body. Focus on the breath, the sensations in the body. Bring that attention back if it wanders. So, one of the key things when we discard a lot of the exterior stuff, when we stop worrying so much about our bodies and our things and start thinking more about what's within, it naturally brings us outward, right? So it's funny if you think about it, but going within is the way to go without, right? Because when we look deep within, we realize that we are just one tiny bit of the infinite. We are connected to everything. It's hard to be selfish when you see that window on the world. You see that you are part of this great whole. Um, how can you be uh, greedy and grasping and
selfish, self-interested, when you know that you are connected to everything. Everything is part of you. When you help others, you are helping yourself, right? That is the the final conclusion to all of this. Even if you did want to be selfish, helping others is a great way to be selfish, right? Because if it helps everyone, it helps you too. But by then you don't care about that, right? So go within to go without. Right? To if you want to experience the world in its very true sense, all you need to do is look within. You will get all the answers you seek. So moving then a bit, coming back into our everyday thing, movement, and then coming up to a seat. When you're ready, we've got hands together. Breathing in, breathing out. Thank you for taking some time today for your yoga and for your daily practice. I hope that you have a very nice and peaceful Friday, and enjoy the cooler, rainy weather. Namaste. Okay, hooray. Meditation. Let's continue on um, our peacefulness. Let's bring a little even more. Let's keep that going. So we're keeping that peaceful, calm state, relaxed breathing, keeping that attention in the present, this place, this time, feeling steady and calm. Okay, we're back here in regular awareness. The regular world, back again. Um, okay, so have a good day. I will be back tomorrow for yoga.